This is the Mets Postcast, your instant game reaction for the New York Mets. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
The New York Mets look like a lost, broken baseball team as they have dropped their fifth straight game and they are in danger of being swept in back-to-back series. Welcome in to the Mets Postcast. I am your Postcast host, Chris Schubert, here with you on the Locked On Mets YouTube channel and the Locked On Mets podcast feed with you after each and every Mets game throughout the course of the season. And we said it yesterday. We will continue it today. There's no sugarcoating how bad things are right now for the New York Mets. They didn't hit tonight. They didn't get the starting pitching that they needed. They played sloppy defense. They looked lost at times. They looked not into it. I can't even say they were pressing because never even looked like there was that level of engagement into this game. The Mets right now feel like a team that just can't get out of their own way, and they need to stop this spiral before it becomes any worse. We will try to break it all down here on the Mets Postcast, but let's start with what you'll be talking about, and it was another rough night for the Mets offensively.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Put the pitching stuff to the side for a second. Put the sloppy defense to the side for a second. Trust me, we'll get to all of that here in this game as well. But Chris Sale, who the Braves pushed back in order to pitch both in this series and the next time that the Mets will meet the Braves next week, goes 8 2/3 scoreless, was nearly able to throw a complete game shutout against the New York Mets, and just boils down to this. The New York Mets are not going to be able to win baseball games when Francisco Lindor, Juan Soto, and Pete Alonso go a combined 0 for 12 with 5 strikeouts. It's just not going to happen. They are not going to be able to win baseball games and score runs in order to make up for what they're lacking with their pitching staff right now, specifically with the starters. Only 5 hits in the game, had 1 at bat with runners in scoring position. That was Alonso. They left 6 men on base. I mean, there was just never any of those grade A opportunities that we talk about. You know, sometimes we get to these postcasts and the Mets lose a game by a run or two, and we can point to this at bat in the 6th inning, this at bat early in the game where they had a chance. There were none of that. This was a game that the Mets were dominated in. They were never in it. They were down 3-0 from the word go, and they never put together even the hint of a rally to get themselves back into this game. They are broken. They are not permanently broken. The season is not over. The Mets are not doomed to never win again, and they're going to watch the Braves and the Phillies both pass them, and they're going to be, destined to be fighting for the last wild card spot. I don't think we're there yet, but we are watching a team at a very critical time in their season, a very critical point on their schedule, not come through. And it allows us all to ask questions about what this team is made of. It allows us all to ask questions about this pitching staff. I mean, they are getting hit from all angles right now. Their offense is slow. Their offense is sluggish. Their pitching staff is hurt. It's showing cracks. The bullpen is starting to look like it's overworked just across the board. They're playing sloppy defense. They're making, silly little mental mistakes that a professional baseball team should make. I mean, it is just wide ranging. Every single night, it appears to be something new for this team. But the top line for this is the Mets, they're not going to win if you don't score. And the Mets couldn't score because Lindor, Soto, and Alonso go a combined 0 for 12. It's just not going to get it done. At one point, the Mets had 2 hits in this game, and both hits were from Starling Marte. They got nothing from anybody else until late in this game. So they ended up with 5 hits, but they never were able to put together anything close to a rally in this game. Let's talk about the starting pitching, because it was Paul Blackburn tonight going for the New York Mets, and it was from the word go. The first pitch he threw of the game was deposited into the seats. They were down 1-0. And then the sloppiness really came into play here in this inning because Luis Torrens makes a childish mistake, a mistake that a young catcher, it feels like this is the 3rd or 4th time within the last week we've talked about something that you expect to see in a Little League game. If you're watching your son or your daughter, your niece or your nephew playing, softball or baseball, you expect to see that when they're first starting out playing this game. You don't expect to see it from a professional. And you certainly don't expect to see it at the big league level in a game of this magnitude. But Luis Torrens stops a ball with his mask. which you absolutely cannot do, immediately brings in a run, puts a runner at third base. So now the next pitch, the next at bat, which is an out, it's a sacrifice fly, that's 2 runs given away there. And then later in the game, you have a wild pitch get by, passed ball, whatever you want to call it. That directly leads to another run. 3 of the 5 Atlanta runs tonight came on a direct miscue from the catching, from Luis Torrens, who everybody, rightfully so, wanted in this lineup because Francisco Alvarez wasn't getting it done. His first game, Luis Torrens looks like he's never played catcher before when he is a sure-handed defensive rock back there, throwing out runners, making great plays. I mean, how many times have we mentioned here on this postcast? We haven't been doing these for very long. We did these in the second half of last year. This is our first full season doing these. How many times have we credited Luis Torrens for a great play at the plate, nabbing a runner at second base with a great throwdown? I mean, over and over and over again, we heap the praise onto Luis Torrens. Tonight, it looked like he has never played the position before. And so this is where I start to lean into this team's overthinking it. This team is now trying to do too much because this stuff didn't happen early in the season. And their first bit of adversity in a big way, first time they've lost 5 games. This is their longest losing streak since May 20th through 25th of last year. It's the last time they've had a losing streak this long, and they're just looking like a team that can't get out of their own way. And Paul Blackburn, who's supposed to be, inserted into this rotation to make up for Kodai Senga getting hurt, he can only give you 3 2/3. And I think you were lucky to get 3 2/3. I was going to be shocked if he was going to be able to finish the 3rd inning with the elevated pitch count and him only being able to throw 70 to 75 pitches. The Mets were lucky that he was able to finish the 3rd and get 2 outs there in the 4th, but the Mets have a rotation crisis right now. And this is my platform to talk about all things Mets, but Frankie Montas did not have a great night in his final minor league rehab start, and he is going to have to be a part of this roster. I know there's question about what the Mets can or cannot do. They cannot keep him down in the minor leagues. His rehab assignment, the 30 days that he is allotted, is coming up. So unless he's going to go back on the injured list because of an injury, doesn't sound like he's hurt, he is going to have to be thrusted into this rotation, and they're not going to have a choice. So right now, you have Paul Blackburn, who's not giving you anything. You have Tyler McGill, who's hurt. You have Griffin Canning, who's not looking very good. You have Frankie Montas, who's going to come back and has an ERA that went down today, but is over 13 in his minor league rehab starts. The Mets have a pitching problem right now. And this felt like what we thought the start of the season was going to look like. It's just now happening here in June, but the Mets have a pitching problem. They need Shamanaya back urgently. They need Frankie Montas to not pitch to a 13 ERA. They need Kodai Senga back. They need to start exploring what options they have here. They're going to need somebody to fill in for Tyler McGill. Is this, I know Ryan's mentioned it, is this Nolan McLean time? Or is this going to be Blade Tidwell? Is it going to be Justin Hageman? What are they going to do with this open rotation spot? I mean, Brandon Waddell is on the 40-man roster, so I think they could use him if they wanted to not have to make a 40-man move and not have to play some roster gymnastics. But the Mets have a rotation problem right now. And you saw it again tonight. You're not getting length from Paul Blackburn. He set you behind the 8 ball from the word go. I mean, with the way things are going for the Mets right now, I mean, listen, the end of the first inning, they're down 3-0. You know the game's over. You know the game's over right now. With the way that they're hitting, they're not getting the pitching. It's just nothing is working for this baseball team right now. We'll talk about much more from this game, what changes they can make, if any, and we'll get to your thoughts as well. The other stuff to keep an eye on here is the Mets this was an embarrassing one tonight. They were shut out. They played sloppy. It was an absolute mess as they lose 5-0 to the Atlanta Braves to increase their losing streak to a season-high 5 games, and they are now in danger of being swept in back-to-back series. So your thoughts, the stuff to keep an eye on, and what changes could be available to this team here, all on the other side. You ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all of my money go? Well, you've got dining out, you've got online shopping, you've got entertainment. It is very easy to lose track. Well, that's where Monarch Money comes in. It's your personal CFO giving you full visibility and control over your finances. This isn't just a budgeting app. It is a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending all in one place. So you stop just managing your money and you start building wealth. Instead of trying to juggle multiple apps, I got my bank accounts over here, I'm tracking my subscriptions and spending over here, and I'm trying to do this budget in this app. How about you just use Monarch so so you can check your finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals all in one place. Maybe you got to manage money with a partner. Smoother than ever. You can track shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for 50% off your first year. Whether you're gearing up for back-to-back meetings, you're shuttling the kids back and forth to activities, or you're tackling that endless to-do list, your morning sets the tone for it all. That's why it should start with the perfect cup of coffee crafted just for you. Enter Trade. Trade is the #1 coffee destination in the U.S., delivering fresh, incredible coffee from over 50 of the country's top roasters. Whether you're a cold brew fan or a pour-over purist, they've got the roast that you'll love. They've got the Trade's quiz. It takes just a minute, and that first bag that they send you could be very spot on. And let's say it's not. Let's say it isn't perfect. Well, Trade's going to replace it for free until they get it just right. The coffee's going to be fresh. It's going to smell amazing, and it's going to ruin grocery store coffee for you in the best way. Right now, Trade is exclusively offering our customers 50% off your 1-month trial at drinktrade.com/lockedonmlb. That's TRADE.com/lockedonmlb for 50% off your 1-month trial. Back here on the Mets Postcast, the Locked On Mets YouTube channel, the Locked On Mets podcast feed, recapping a disappointing one, a frustrating one, an annoying one. We just keep using these words because they keep applying. A no-show, a complete no-show for the New York Mets tonight. I asked the question in the title of the postcast beforehand, will the losing streak grow to 5? I mean, that was a stupid question to ask. Of course it was going to grow to 5 with the way that this team played tonight, and they will try to avoid it going to 6. Ray says, Chris, sorry you have to do a post-game show about such a pathetic game. Ray, you never have to apologize. I love being able to talk Mets baseball every single day. It is a dream come true, good, bad, or indifferent. The highs, the lows, the ugly games, the fantastic games, David Peterson, complete game shutouts, the playoff run last year. This is a dream come true. So good, bad, or indifferent, we are going to be here discussing it all because I'm a Mets fan just like all of you, wanting to see the best for this team. And right now, I don't know what the best is for this team because they tried tonight to change some things up. Luis Torrens was in there after a bad night for Francisco Alvarez. Luis Torrens at the center of things going south tonight. Now, I'm not trying to push this all on Luis Torrens and, get upset with him, but I think Torrens having a bad night when it is not in his DNA, it is not characteristic of him to have a night like this behind the plate, tells me that this team is trying too hard. They're pressing, they're thinking about it, they're getting in their own head, and they are allowing this moment to apply some pressure to them, and they are not thriving. You start to wonder, Lindor, is the toe bothering him? Is he not at 100%? I mean, 0 for 4 tonight. He's been struggling as of late. I wonder if there is a need to, he's never going to go on the injured list. He's never going to sit down. If he feels like he can play, he's going to be out there. But boy, does it just seem like he's not at 100% and it's impacting him. I mean, the Mets stood no chance against Chris Sale tonight. He had the slider working. He had the fastball working. He got late in the game. Keith even talked about it on the broadcast. He threw a fastball up and in to Nimmo late in this game that just looked like he added a little extra to it. The Mets just didn't have an answer. They could not catch up to it. We mentioned the production from the bottom part of the lineup. Ronnie Mauricio just looks like he's not ready coming off of the injuries. 0 for 3, hitting 171 on the season. It just feels like a team right now that is not firing on all cylinders, and we know how important it is right now for the New York Mets to do a lot offensively. We know they are going through it pitching-wise. They got injuries. There's underperformance. The offense needs to carry their weight. The offense needs to step up. The pitching did it in the first half of this, 70-plus game stretch of the season. Now it is up to the hitting to catch up, and right now they are not doing it. Again, to recap the stat of the night, the thing that I would say that is my major takeaway from this game, Lindor, Soto, Alonso, 0 for 12. They're just not going to win baseball games when those three guys are not getting on base, no walks from those guys, not getting any hits, not driving in any runs, and 5 strikeouts in those 12 at-bats. They just right now have too many holes in their lineup. Not to say there are always going to be holes in the lineup, but Lindor is struggling. Mauricio is struggling. The catcher spot is just emptiness right now for this team. And so it's all just hitting them at once. And I think that is where at least I want to leave this game. Everything is hitting this team at the same time. the pitching woes, the hitting cold streak, the adversity, the pressure, this tough stretch of the year, it's all happening at the same time. Now, there are two ways to look at this. You can look at this and say, this is the Mets showing us who they are, and we should believe them, and this team is not close enough to winning a World Series if they're not able to deal with this adversity. Or you can be the person who looks at this glass half full and says, I'm glad they're going through this right now. They're going to be able to learn from it. They're going to be better off for it because I believe in the leadership of this team. I believe in Lindor. I believe in Soto. I believe in Alonso. I believe in Carlos Mendoza. I believe in this pitching staff to be able to, get right and get back to being what we expect of them as they get healthier. Those are the two ways to look at it. And I'll be honest, I cannot fault you if you watch the last 5 games and you are worried about this baseball team. I would still tell you that it's a little early to say that the season is completely over. And you are right to say that you cannot do this against this team, in a place that has just been an absolute disaster land for you your entire existence. The Mets have not been good in Atlanta forever. Since I've been alive, they have not been good in Atlanta. And so you can look at it that way, and I would not blame you, and I cannot argue with you. If you want to say that they can use this as a building block, they can use this as a turning point, they can use this as something to grow from and to build from, I love your optimism. I wish I had a little bit of it tonight. I'm leaning more towards that other camp. I mean, the sky is not completely falling, but I am growing more and more concerned by the day with what we are seeing. I mean, it is not good. And then you've got Spencer Strider going tomorrow, who looks like he's starting to turn a corner, looks like he's starting to feel like the old Spencer Strider. And so that spells bad news for the New York Mets. So just a rough go of it right now. I hope it's just a rough patch, but I don't know. I don't know if it's just a rough patch. I need to see some signs here from this team. I need to see something from this squad this week, whether it's tomorrow. I mean, just salvaging the series against the Braves at least is somewhat of a good sign for us to turn things around, but at least give us something by the end of the week with this Phillies series, because they have to respond in some way, or they're going to watch the division slip away. They're going to watch Philly pass them. They're going to bring the Braves closer into this division, and they're going to set themselves up for a battle in the second half of the season. And right now, they are not equipped to go into a battle. They with the injuries, the underperformances, they are just not equipped right now to battle the Braves and the Phillies. You're seeing it here over the last couple of days. A stinker for the New York Mets tonight, and there's been a lot of them. It is 5 games in a row of this team just not playing anywhere near their best baseball. And they have to, I've seen some talks of a team meeting. I'm not ready to go there yet. I think everybody in that room understands that they need to be better. I think there is a drive to be better. I'm not questioning these guys' drive to win. They want to win more than anybody else. They want to turn this around, and they don't like losing just as much. We don't like watching losing. But man, they've got to show something, and they've got to show it quickly, or else there's going to be bigger long-term questions that I think we're all going to be asking about where this team's ceiling is. We'll leave the last thought to Thomas here on the postcast. All agree it's a stinker, and I don't want them to lose any more games. They need to win a game. I think we would all feel a lot better if they just mixed in one win. You know what, Thomas? I'm making an amendment. Steven's going to get the last word because he makes a really good point. Just like the Tampa series, blow a very winnable game and then get smoked. This one makes yesterday hurt more, right? Just like in the Tampa series, losing on Friday made Saturday and Sunday hurt more. Tonight, being a complete no-show, not having it, and just getting blown out, and the miscues, and not having an answer for Chris Sale, not even putting anything close to a competitive rally in this game, makes yesterday hurt even more, because you had one. You had one that would have made us been like, okay, Chris Sale got you. You tip the cap. He's a great pitcher. He's a Cy Young winner. He's always going to be able to be dominant like that. You tip your cap. You try to win the finale of the series. But this one, losing this one, just makes yesterday hurt even more. This team, let's see. Let's see what they've got. I still think that they can turn this around. I don't expect them to be this team for the rest of the year. They are just going through it in every phase right now. Fundamentals, hitting, pitching. It is just a complete mess for them. So Just play clean fundamental baseball. Don't try to do too much. And the Mets will be back into the win column sooner rather than later. And hopefully it is tomorrow for us here on the Mets Postcast. And speaking of that, make sure if you are new here, you subscribe to us over on the Locked On Mets YouTube channel and hit that notification button or that bell so that you're notified when we go live. If you're listening to us over in the podcast feed, come on and join us during the live edition of the Mets Postcast over on the YouTube channel. You can interact, share your thoughts immediately after each game throughout the course of the season. That is going to do it for us here on the Mets Postcast. Keep that chin up, Mets fans. Let's hope this team can rally. Let's hope this team can fight back and give us something positive to go into an important series with Philly over the weekend. We'll be here to break it all down tomorrow, the finale for this series, as the Mets will try to take down Spencer Strider. Have a good one, Mets fans.